Video archive 33. Tesla long. Trade duration 9 trading days. Entry $178.09. Exit $196.50. 10.3% gain. This is my trading charted. All right, here we go. So my entry was pretty simple. There's just a couple things I want to point out. First of all, we're in this macro channel since the all-time highs. We did get a break of this channel, which if you measure the elasticity of the channel, that is the range of this breakdown, which is interesting. We had a touch at the bottom side here, then some powerful gap ups to the 4-hour 200 period moving average, and a previous level, which is where I end up taking my profit. I'm gonna drop this horizontal line right there for now. Oops. The reason I entered was, as you can see, the moving averages here. The orange is the 50 period moving average. The red is the 200. At my entry point on this big, powerful candle right here, you can see we held the 50, which led to a cross. That's where I took my entry. You flip through the frames here to show my entry again. You can see we'd already had the cross on the 1 hour and held the 1 hour 50 as well. So I took my entry there. That was confluent with this, or confluent in the sense of these two signals were simultaneous. The RSI here, you can see didn't go into the bearish control zone, held the 200 on the 15, and basically the same low on there. So there's this sense of divergence there. Then once we took back the center line of the channel, so I guess what I should point out actually real quick is I had my stop loss set just below the 50 on the 4 hour and below the low of this previous right here, which was a gap fill. You can see it's also right at the 200. I guess that was a slightly risky because we could have had a test of the 200 completely or a test of this cross, which is right where I set it. So I could have gotten washed out. I didn't end up getting washed out, but on the 15, it's right below the 200. So on the 4 hour, when we did end up breaking the center line of the channel, no problem. We break the center line of the channel right here. To me, that means trade is on. Now, I completely mismanaged my profit taking on this trade. I guess that might be an overstatement. What happened was I got stopped out at 196.50. I had it set below the below this gap, and it's just right below the 50 right here, which it was just poor stop placement, especially on Tesla. It's volatile, which I end up regretting because it's about a week later and it's at 250 now. But you can see I chose this exit point because it's a previous high. This horizontal line is where I exited. We'll just kind of explore the significance of it. You can see resistance gap right there. Resistance and support in there. Support when resistance. Wait. Yeah, resistance down, gap above it. Support. So clearly a significant level. We had a test of the center line here, consolidation at the center line, and then a powerful break through it. So I should have been expecting this to come to the top side. I'm gonna play out, right? Oh, well, I guess before I play out what price action does is I'll throw on a fib. One of the fibs I was looking at for an exit was here, which is, I exited at the 886 there. I probably should have been looking at a different fib, maybe something like this. It did go right to the 0.5 on that, but there's this golden pocket up here at 228, which will come up in the next archive I do on Tesla. I have another one to do on 35, which will on video archive 35, which I actually exit at this circle I had drawn on from. I do that circle on sometime in May or April. Um, sometimes you can predict the x-axis or predict. Sometimes you can measure where price will be on the x-axis just by the combination of diagonal lines and horizontal lines. I'm sure you can add a layer of confluence in there with fib channel. I mean, fib time zones, but I don't really use those seriously yet. See, I'll play out price action, and that's my Tesla trade. Shit. So just note to self, what I should have done was follow, or just I guess better stop placement. Maybe use the ATR to measure the volatility, so I could get a better idea of the range. Because I mean, look at this. I barely got stopped out here. I moved my stop up when it went up to 203. I moved it up to 160 or 196.50, and price went down to 195.30. So, that's fractions of a percent. And then it moved. Jesus Christ. And it does this. And that's interesting. That regimented incline, right? That kind of range. I guess maybe it's some form of a bull flag. Although, God, this was, look at this. The consolidation was so slight, and I bet you can see. I mean, this is kind of getting into the trade on my next trade, but let's go to like the 5 minute time frame, and you can see on the RSI the signature is interesting. Boom, three touches, two touches, three touches. Then boom, big move up. Huge divergence there. You just then this beautiful holding of the center line. I wonder what this looks like on the 15th. Oh yeah, look at that. Don't argue with the bullish control zone. Wow. Anyway,